Kyle here from All Media Reviews, here to do a collection update since I've been acquiring stuff over the past, say, month since the last collection update. So vinyl and CDs. I'll do the CDs first, because I don't think there was anything else. I did find this the other day when I was looking through some stuff. Autograph Tama picture of Mike Portner that I put up on my background here in some shots, but I've never found the DVD, the Drum Clinic, Liquid Drum Theater DVD that I had signed. I had that years ago and I got it in a clinic and never found it. I lost it. That and my Pain Salvation Remedy Lane shirt is another one that I've lost and never found. But anyway, along with those CDs, that jazz book. So, all right. So let's see. Yeah, just go in order here. So the first thing is a really big item that I've wanted to buy. It's been available, but you know, I didn't get around to it. It's an album that I have. It's from the German progressive metal band Superior. It's their second album. They're now defunct, unfortunately. Unique, which, you know, when I do albums of the year, they're definitely going to be showing up. But I bought this in the late 99. It came out in 98, I believe. Unique with a Y. But this is my favorite of their 3 records. But I already had this. I have another copy of it in my bin here. I open up, but that wouldn't take very long to do. I could show. Yeah, it's ready. I've got their whole collection. Where is it? I thought it was here. Yeah, there it is. So I've got this. I got this signed by the band when at that Prog Party USA and everything. But anyway, the unique thing about this one versus this one is this has their song "Why" from the first album behind "Why" with Andre Matos of the late Andre Matos of Angra and later Shaman, singing an acoustic version, like as a duet with, and he shows up on this album with on a couple songs, at least one song. I think it's "Free Minded." Is it "Free Minded"? Yeah, I think it was "Free Minded." Yeah, it's got one other track, "Sweet Pretense," another bonus track, previously released. "Sweet Pretense." So yeah, I knew about this for years, and it was never really cheap, but I think someone, I mean, I didn't pay an arm and leg. I got it from France, so I usually don't buy internationally, but so it's kind of a big deal to find. It wasn't that expensive because this one just has, yeah, I mean, I have the band signing, but anyway, as a lover of someone who loves Andre Matos and Superior, to get this was great to finally do that. I don't know if the chances of it ever coming out on vinyl are next to none, unfortunately. So then I found in my pursuit of seeking out the whole Brian Scary and the Shredding Tears collection. He's releasing music now through a Patreon. It's mostly that project he's done the last like 6 or 7 years, which I'm not as into. I forget the name of it. It's a band, actually. Scary Toys or something, I forget. But this is the debut album from Brian Scary and the Shredding Tears from 2006. Just the self-titled, I believe, which, I mean, among the stuff I've heard, which I'm still, I mean, some year and I mean, I got into them really this past year, but this is probably my least favorite of all the stuff. I want to get the ones that were issued on, or are going to get reissued on physical copies. I like this album. It's the ELO influence is obvious, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of raw. There's more punk, probably more punk elements and like cabaret in this, but my favorites on this, Little Engine Who Couldn't, I think his vocal style was still kind of getting refined, Brian, at this point. So, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't all that expensive. I figured it was on Discogs. I'll just pick it up. So I have this. I have the one I have on mini disc that I'm blanking on the title. I'm on vinyl anyway. So then I did pick up the last of the 3 proper studio albums from The Warning on CD that I needed. The 21st Century Blood, which I just had previously bought on vinyl, which has, like I mentioned when I showed the vinyl, Survive is my go-to on this, but There's some acoustic moments on this. You know, they're kind of a different band now, but interesting artwork. It came out in 2017 or 20. I think it was 2017. And they were just, you know, high school and younger at that point. I'm trying to, but you know, I mean, it wasn't an arm and a leg, and it's cool to like complete the Warning catalog. I don't have the Mayday EP from 2021, but anyway. So then the last bit, you know, group of CDs, compact discs I picked up were the four proper, you know, albums from Major Parkinson. Although there's one I'm missing, Solitary Home, but I don't know if that's available anymore on CD. But the last album, which I got on vinyl, Valessa, what is it? Chapter 1, Velvet Prison. I really like this album. Came out in 2022. I'll show the book. I don't know. I only had vinyl copies of their music before this, other than the Night at the Library. Kind of a cool book here. Because I was, you know, preferring to buy vinyl. I can't remember if my vinyl came with. Sometimes vinyl come with compact discs, but so yeah, I mean it's interesting. So I got that, and because I had a deal, it's like stuff was like 50% off or something like that. It was a deal. I bought it all through Bandcamp. I don't know if it was an exclusive Bandcamp thing, but the previous album, Black Box, I have on vinyl, but I have it on CD now too. Because you know, Major Parkinson's a band who they're obscure, they're niche, they have a cult following, but you know, certainly could use support, and especially if they had a deal on physical copies, it was kind of a no-brainer. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, to buy these CDs, this has Madeline Crumbles, I forgot about that, yeah. Black Box from 2017, I think it was, which is a fan favorite. Some people can still consider this their best. I don't, but I still like it a lot. Baseball's still one of my go-tos on it. So then the one that converted me, and this is my favorite, which I've had on vinyl for, you know, whatever, almost 10 years now. Twilight Cinema, which has the Wheelbarrow and Impermanence, right? Permanence, Cabin in the Sky, Heart Machine, cool looking book here. This is 2014's Twilight Cinema. Yeah, they're Netherlands, I believe. Is it Netherlands or Norway? I always get the two mixed up, but look at the Netherlands. Sandra, his band Moron plays, of course. He plays with them too. He wasn't on this album. He was on the last two, though, I believe. I think he was on the last one. I think he was on Black Box as well. But yeah, and then this may be the debut album, which came out in like 2010. Yeah, so Solitary Home's the one that I'm missing. I don't know if it's available. And I've spent a lot less time with this album and Solitary Home than the other three, but you know, they're still good records, and they're, you know, avant-garde prog, you know, influenced by by Cardiacs and Faith No More and Mr. Bungle especially, and other stuff. The vocalist, you know, initially it sounds like Liam Neeson singing, but he's really good though. So Solitary Home, I don't even know what I would say as my go-tos on this, because I haven't listened to this album in really the point that I first got into the band. This has the title track, so this has the song Solitary Home, but this is Songs from a Solitary Home. Well, maybe this is the album I'm thinking of, and there's another one I'm missing. I don't remember. I thought that there's one record I'm missing there. Anyway, so that's it for all the CDs. Now we'll move on to the vinyl. So, you know, and I've been trying to watch my budget of late, but I did go on one of those binges, and I still kind of continue to things. I got this long list of wish lists, but I'm starting to buy some stuff at like holes. So Decemberist, The Crane Wife, which, you know, push comes to shove, is probably my favorite studio album from the Decemberists. The Tane I love. Picaresque is really good. You know, I need to revisit The Hazards of Love, but this has the probably the proggiest thing. I mean, the Tane is pretty proggy, but the closest thing that they really did a proper progressive rock epic in the Crane Wife. I mean, the Island rather. Came out in 2006. You know, when I get to 2006, now I'll be able to show the vinyl rather than just showing the CD. this was the album that I got into them. I knew the name before that, but yeah, just a thick black pressing, nice labels there. Saying that this is on Capitol. Is it Capitol? Yeah, I guess it is. But has number of other, besides the island, number of other tracks that I really enjoy. The Crane Wife Suite is one of them. It's like the first. It's like 3 parts to it. I think it's like the first parts at the beginning and the last 2 at the end, or I can't remember. Crane Wife 3. Yeah, the Crane Wife 3, the Crane Wife 1 and 2. Okay, that's how it works. So the opening track on the record, the Crane Wife 3. Yankee Bayonet, Oh Valencia, Perfect Crime. The Perfect Crime sounds like 80s Genesis in a lot of ways, but it's what is this? It comes with something. Oh, maybe this is a double. Yeah. Again, it's standard black. There you go. So, but yeah, I mean the island is just fantastic. It's like Pink Floyd or Tull. I mean, I don't like Pink Floyd exactly. It's a well written, like, sort of chamber rock epic. They use a lot of instrumentation besides guitar, drum, and bass. So yeah, 2006 is the Crane Wife from the Decemberists. So in my pursuit of collecting completing the Marillion collection, I did pick up one of the most kind of looked down upon, forgettable records in their history, especially recent history, Somewhere Else, which I still am not crazy about this album, but Marillion's my favorite band, and I didn't pay a lot for this. I think I got this from a U.S. seller on Discogs, standard black with some interesting colored labels there. I mean, I went over this when I did Marillion stuff. It was like a year and a half, whenever that was. It was like maybe it was the fall of 21. The title track is one of my favorites on here. What is it? Something in the past. Yeah, A Voice from the Past. Those are probably my go-tos on Somewhere Else from 2007. The one that followed, Marbles, basically, which was, just really well received. Thank You for Whoever You Are, The Last Century for Man. This has some live stuff on it. It's interesting, on the 4th. That's what happens frequently with vinyl. It includes added tracks on the 4th side if it's a double, because they don't have enough room to put it on one disc. Or what do? They need some extra time, so it's got a tour I obviously did not see them on. The other half, the title track, so the title track and Voice from the Past, so 2 of the best songs on here. The other half is okay. See It Like a Baby, Most Toys, those are the black sheep of this record. I mean, the weird thing about this record is I frequently see it at half-price books. I don't know why. Like, in shrink wrap, like, unopened. But, I mean, it's been given a bad rap, and it's gotten a little more appreciation over time, because it's now been 16 years since it came out. But so the next one, really happy to get this, although as I came to learn, talking to the people on the Facebook group, the mutemath debut album, which Paul Meany from basically is mutemath now, or he's just doing solo work and producing and stuff like that. He had some extra copies. They sold it, it was like 2 years ago, something like that, and they had some. He found some extra copies or something lying around, and he announced the date and the time they would be for sale. And had some problems with the website. Hold on. So, going back to this. So the mutemath, they gave a time and a date for it, and the website crashed trying to get it. I mean, and this was not cheap, but the thing is, trying to find this record now, the different versions of it, especially the original, you're going to spend $200 or more. But I guess this is not, like, the original version had the one that came out on the label, not because they had an independent. I got multiple versions of the CD. I'll have to show when I get to like 2006 albums of the year or something. But they included the Reset stuff from the Reset EP. but I don't think that's on here, and there's one or two other tracks. But it's the standard track list from the independent release. Yeah, I mean, so it's a great debut album, mutemath 2006. So I got, Crane Wife from the Decemberists and this thick pressing. But this is the repressing from, it was like 2016. Yeah, that's right. It was like 2016. I was looking that up, so it was a while back. But he had a limited number, and then like people couldn't get them, and he said, send me an email because I don't know. They're having so many problems. My transaction went through. I was just like concert tickets when they go on sale. I was just ready because I knew I wanted this. Obviously, it's a great record, but I knew it wouldn't be easy because a lot of people have been looking for this, and I didn't want to spend an arm and a leg trying to find it. Yeah, Break the Same, You Are Mine. Picture, Stall Out, Side D. Yeah, I mean, it's, as I did a mutemath video a couple of years ago, their records, they're definitely a band that has many records that are equally good. A lot of people lean toward this record as their favorite still. I guess from start to finish, it might be the most consistent record. Yeah, Chaos, typical, Stare at the Sun, obsolete. There's a version. I've got 3 different versions of this album. There's a version, and the version that came out initially, I think on vinyl, it was like 2008, had more. Like, I think it had more tracks. It may not have been as thick of a pressing, though. But yeah, I'm really happy to finally, just to get any version of this. And, while it wasn't cheap, and from a dollar standpoint, I guess I could just mention, I think I paid, I want to say it was with the shipping and the tax, it was like $73 or something like that, or $7. Which, for a record that I love a lot, isn't even my favorite mutemath record. Maybe it's a little high for my taste, but I just kind of know from a standpoint of who knows when they'll repress it. They may eventually. The fact that mutemath isn't a band anymore kind of questions that. And the demand and the way that the other versions, the one that came out in 2016, this is part of, that Paul Meany just had from mutemath, and the first pressing from 2000, whatever it was, I don't know if it was 2006, it was like 2008, are so expensive, because some of them may go as $400 or $500, like both on Discogs and eBay. It was definitely a no-brainer just to buy it for that much money. It was, I don't know how much it was. It was like $55 or $60, then with the tax and shipping, it ended up over $70. So moving on, got a few records left here. I'll be able to wrap this one up. Speaking of vinyl, that's what just came in the mail. It's something for my wife. So I'm starting to try to complete my new pornographers collection, the ones that I still consider essential. This is 2007? Yeah, 2007's Challengers. And I paid like almost nothing for this. I think on Discogs the seller was selling it for like $13 or something. So, and what I consider the sort of last, like, good new pornographers records, the ones they've put out since, I've tried and they've just failed, and just haven't done a lot for me, and for whatever reason, I really consider just their first 4 records essential. So I'm only missing one. I think I'm missing Twin Cinema. But when I do the albums of the year, I'll be going over that. But I believe it was 2000. Yeah, it was 2007. I mean, my 2007 list initially, it was not like in my top 10 albums, and I mean, among the records, I don't think this is my favorite, but Challengers, the title track, Myriad, Harbor, the Nico tracks I always love, or I love on this record at least. All the right old showstoppers, My Rights versus Yours. It's a fun record. It's the new pornographers, at the height, at sort of the end of their powers, and they kind of, and of course, was it one of them, Dan Behar or AC Newman? I think it may be AC Newman, who's not with the band anymore. But I'm glad to get one of the, I guess you'd call them the early period new pornographers records. I hope I can get this in here. I'll say that while the record seems like it's a reasonably thick pressing, this is definitely not a very thick jacket. There we go. Alright, so here's one I kind of talked about pretty frequently a few weeks ago, so I'm just showing my physical copy. So I got one left, yep. And this is Small League Steamship's new album, Low Tide, which, you know, I did my review. I haven't actually listened to that much. They did a new video for Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which is great. It's very, even though it's kind of AI-ish, you know, but, you know, it's a kind of a no-brainer that I was going to buy this. I'll be doing an Albums of the Year list within the next month, I would say. It could be by the second or third week of December. Well, that's like a month from now. By the second week. Could be earlier. Cool looking vinyl, though. I mean, there were a few different kinds. I know one of them sold out, but the splash of, like, again, it's like a lifesaver. like a mint Low Tide here. Which kind of reflects a lot of this, because this is like a potpourri record. It's a lot of different styles, but the songwriting is very cohesive to me. But yeah, I mean, it's great to have this on vinyl. That this is the second record full length. They've been, you know, they put out that EP or the single that I have on vinyl. You know, whether we actually will get a compact disc at some point, I don't know. You know, my big wish would be to see Face Yourself and Remove Your Sandals also come out on vinyl at some point. I don't know. They're not a band that's in high demand, so the odds of that are probably not that high, you know, but, you know, anyway, yeah, I love Floating is one of my favorites. I mentioned that I did in the review. The last two tracks, My Piano and Buying Time, you know, it's a great record, and, you know, we'll see where it ends up finishing on the Albums of the Year list, so, but it's only a few weeks, so we got the Polyphonic Spree's Salvage Enterprise coming out tomorrow on the 17th of November, and then Giant Sky 2, the self-titled Giant Sky 2 on December 1st, and Peter Gabriel's I/O. There's not any obvious other releases. There's stuff obviously that I haven't heard, but I'm kind of, you know, even though I've been listening to a lot of new music because I've been doing all the Albums of the Year stuff in the history, but so the last vinyl I have is the final, you know, vinyl to wrap up the Warning collection. This is Queen of the Murder Scene on vinyl, gatefold, just like I got the 21st Century Blood CD. And, yeah, I mean, look at the girls. This is from, I think, 2019? 2018 or I think 2019. Again, independent release, but, you know, I kind of wonder, because their popularity and demand, that this kind of thing, given these weren't on a major label or anything like that, are going to be not as easy to come by at some point. That's why I wanted to just pick up all the physical copies now. I've been through that with other bands where you don't buy them right away. And I mean, like the Kimbra debut album, I didn't buy on vinyl right away. I wish I had for the 2011 version. Or there's been some other examples of that. What's the other one? I forget. I just kind of, you know, just being proactive. Maybe it doesn't sort of help, or it contributes that my coworker is so like a consume fanboy who talks about them frequently in the Patreon. So, but Dull Knives, that's a favorite. Yep, Dull Knives cut better. Queen of the Murder Scene, the title track. You know, thick pressing here. Yeah, I mean, it's a concept album. Again, like 21st Century Blood, it has kind of some different dynamics. And but you know, the production is what it is. But to have it on vinyl is probably a good idea, and it comes with this big book when they issued it recently. See, it is pretty much a concept, like Act 2, Act 3. Look at all this stuff. You know, I mean, my taste, my favor is still with the recent stuff, with Air and the stuff they've been doing, the new stuff. They have a new album that, you know, in all likelihood will be released in 2024. It might be early, might be a little later, depending on their schedule and how much they finished. They've done some of it. They have played 2 songs live since the newest single, More, which it's a little different. But I don't know if the record's not going to sound like More, probably. I mean, you know, that based on the other 2 songs they played live recently, and they only played them a few times. So see, that was Act 2. So this must be Act 1. Yeah. So this is like a super like conceptual, like, playbill story. Yeah, I mean, this is big and massive. I don't know, someday I may love this record more than Air and some other ones. Be like really happy I got the vinyl, and you have, like, you go the whole 9 yards with this thing, with the concept of Queen of the Murder Scene. So but I have that on vinyl and on CD as well. So So that's about it for this vinyl update, vinyl/music update. What have you picked up recently? I'd love to find that out. What are you looking? Are you looking forward to getting anything on Black Friday? There aren't really too many items. There's some stuff that I want, like this new Steven Wilson album I don't have, and some others that I still am looking for. And there's all this stuff on Discogs, but I don't know. Do these once every few months, if I, like I try to buy a ton of stuff. But anyway, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.